Yo, yo, yo. I hope everyone's good. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I hope everyone's had a good week. Also a good weekend as well. Today's a Sunday, so yeah, man, it's starting to get a bit hot out here, can't lie. But yeah, just chilling. Thought I would just make a little quick video, probably shorter one than usual. To be honest, like I was thinking, like, do I even do one this week? Because I'll be honest, I don't really have a lot to really keep talking about, and like, I don't want things to get repetitive. And then I remembered, like, I don't make these videos for like other people. As bad as it sounds, like I just do it to, like, keep myself accountable, keep myself consistent. And so yeah, even though I might not talk about different things all the time, it's still there for me to be speaking about stuff my week, and so I can kind of go back, watch it and document it. And you never know, along the way I might drop a few little things that help other people who are obviously, in the same situation as myself, trying to become better and more consistent with their trading. So yeah, like, I'm gonna cover just like a couple things this week. One of the things that I think I'm gonna try and stop talking about too much is like how much percentage I'm making every week. Maybe I'll do like some monthly review or something like that, or I'll just make my FX book public. But again, I can feel that creeping into my trading when I'm thinking about like my mindset when I'm taking trades. Like, I'm taking a trade and I'm thinking I might have just lost one, took an L, and then I'll be coming to take another one and I'll be like, oh, this loses, and I'm going to be down 1% or down 2%. I have to do another video about minus this, and that shouldn't even be coming into my head, right? Like, the best trades that I take every week are the ones that I don't even really even think about. You just naturally just enter because it hits your confirmation list, and you just in, and it's like, it is what it is. And that was the trade that I'm going to break down with you today. So yeah, all in all, like, last week was a bit of a slow week, to be honest. I've just been spending a lot of time back testing, and just like getting more data, more sampling, and really just trying to not change my edge or my plan, but just kind of refine it and really understand, like, if I do this a bit different, what happens? If I wait for a 1 minute break structure, is that increase my strike rate rather than just entering straight off the 5? Or if is there, just a few different things. So yeah, so today I'm just want to talk a bit about the trade of the week that I took. So I did take a nice trade. The trade that I took wasn't even on my live account. So basically I entered some funding challenge thing, right? So without going into it too much, basically it's just like this little competition. I say little, it's this competition that this prop firm's running, and like the top traders from that get given a funded account. Again, I'm not even really thinking about that. I don't really care if I get a funding account from it or not. It's more just, it's just like trading a demo account, but I kind of know that someone else can see my trade. So yeah, I haven't really. I took two trades on that account this week. First one lost, and then the second one was a really good trade a bit later on a Friday. So I'm just going to jump into that. And what I'm going to do, actually, if I go to my trading, view like here, I'm going to literally just do a full higher time frame analysis as well, and just break it down, so you can kind of see how I like dissect my charts, and so on. So the trade that I took was on 24th. So if I let me just rewind it back to, unless I have already. Bear with me 1 second. I think I rewinded it already. Yeah, I have rewinded it. Okay, cool. So I always start off with a high time frame, right? High time frame analysis. You hear people mention this all the time. You go monthly, weekly, daily. I already know sort of where I am on the weekly and monthly. So we start marking out our higher highs, higher lows on the daily, right? So we could essentially, start off here. Makes sense. Black. I like to use black for my daily, and then it's just all about, do we come into a premium or not? Premium being 50%. So we mark out our higher highs and higher lows like this, right? So you can see that with the daily, we're in a real bearish order flow right now, which is fine. We've kind of just come into a premium on the daily. So, but one thing we haven't done is we haven't made a lower low yet, right? We haven't broken past this low here. So we could essentially still pull up a little bit more, which is kind of the bias for the week last week, and maybe even more so for this week. But yeah, you start from the daily. Yeah, now we jump down to the 4 hour. So we know where we are daily, right? It's really important. Even sometimes I like to like write this down, like if it's on a bit of paper on a notepad. Like if I'm looking at something for that day, I will write down where I am. So I'll write down not where I am, but where we are on the charts. Like I'll say, okay, daily we're bearish, we're in a premium. However, we might be pushing up a little bit more. The sells are more probable, for example. Same with 4 hour. We're now looking at a 4 hour structure from this last high. We're obviously bearish still, right? We've made this low down here. Nice little, I like to use different colors for different time frames, and make this low, and we've come up into just about 50%, right? So we've come up into a shallow premium. We know that kind of 89, 71% is our real sort of premium zones. 50% is very retail. So what do we have and we haven't made a lower low yet, so we could still push up a bit higher. We have this, don't know why that's green. And we have this. I'm just looking at order blocks. Order blocks are buy to sell, sell to buys. This buy, small buy before a big sell-off is an order block. There's a lot of liquidity, a lot of orders in here that needs to get mitigated, needs to get collected. Same with this one above, and we've got IPA with each one, right? So this first one, then we trade what we see, we trade what's in front of us. We've got equal highs, relative equal highs, right? What do I know about relative equal highs? I know that there's a lot of liquidity. We like to purge this before we make the sort of true move to the downside, which could look something like this, right? Or it could push up even higher. So cool, I know that, and my notes would be, we're bearish on the 4 hour. We've created some liquidity and potential inducement. We could be looking for buys. I would like to look for buys up into that area, etc, etc. Dropping down another time frame. So hours, very similar. Hours, pretty bullish. 15 minutes, very bullish. I won't go into this too much. But actually, let me rewind where we actually put the trade. So there we go. I like to just jump straight to the 5 minute now. So I know where we are on the higher time frames. I know what I would ideally like to see. I will look at my session break. So let me go back even a little bit more. So I use this session breaker when I'm on a lower time frame. I'm lazy, I can't be bothered to draw boxes out. But basically just highlights where we are, right? We know when we're trading intraday or scalping, our time of the days, our sessions are super important because it tells us who's in the market, how much volatility there are, and we understand the patterns that happen during this time frame. So 5 minute, we are bullish, which is what I like to see because we want to look for buyers, right? So that's my first positive. Again, ignoring all this noise before, I'm just looking at clear structure. Where are we? Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Essentially, I wouldn't normally take a trade like of something here because we like to see Asia's low swept, and there is this little order block here just below the Asia range. So this was something I was aware of, but even if I was going to take a trade here, I probably would have had it off of this order block. Okay, but again, if you're putting your stops below the Asia session or above, then you're essentially part of that liquidity. So I like to kind of wait, but sometimes you can take these certain trades. So if I play price out, right, we're coming to London now. There would have been some nice sales here, but coming into London, what was I looking for? Essentially I was looking at this one to begin with. Didn't quite come into it from what I remember. Let me just zoom in a bit more. Didn't quite come into it as I remember. So I'm like, okay, we've hit some IPA. I'm gonna put this here. This could be our inducement. Can't spell. Like so. First little inducement, getting those early buyers, right? What would I like to see now? We might have just missed a move. It's not a problem. We've created a lower low. We could be going to creating a higher high. But ideally, I had alert set and understand that if we come back into this, we could just be taking out these early buyers before then making that true move to the upside, something like that. All right, so play this out. We did make that higher high, so I thought, okay, is this a true lower high or not? See how price plays out. was watching it. As price started to come back down, I started to think, right, okay, this is interesting. Let's see if we get down here and what happened when we hit this zone. So we came in, we took out this inducement, we didn't break below this previous low, and we had a strong reaction to the upside. So this was kind of my confirmation then to say, okay, strong reaction to the upside. If there's going to be a buy, it's going to be now. I think I had a 6 pip stop, something like this. I think it was 6 pips. But anyway, I was just literally targeting this previous high. I think, I remember now, let me get my, okay, yeah, so it was from there. Cool. Like that. There we go. That was what we had. And yeah, just waited to see. Price went up, stalled a little bit, and then we're in the trade. In the trade now, let it play out, and then yeah, we got a really good reaction to the upside, and that was where I took my take profit. I believe it was like around 1 to 8. I think went to do 1 to 11, and then price just kind of came back, but we're still. I could just stop this. There, so you can see. So this is where we are now. This is where it ended on Friday, but this was a really clean trade. It had all of our confirmations, and that's sort of how I break down the higher time frames, going from the daily, sometimes the weekly, to the 4 hour, the hour, to the 15-minute, to the 5-minute, and it just helps with that, you know, probability of, you know, if we're bullish or on the 15-minute and the 5 and the 1 hour, and we know where we would like to get to on the 4 hour, it just helps paint that story, right? Because you could just enter. You don't want to just enter on any like order blocks or whatever. You want to understand what that higher time frame bias is, where we are, and also for me, like the timing of this was really good because it was London session. Friday's not ideal, but as soon as we come into this London Open, we was about half an hour into it. That was when we made that move. So yeah, super clean, super simple. Like if you just took this one trade last week, you could have done an easy 10% on a Friday. I think I don't know what the percentage was on this one because it's on this funded challenge account and the leverage is like 1 to 3 or something like that. So it wasn't, I don't think it was a lot, but I like the risk to reward is what I tend to focus on. So yeah, I hope that was a little bit helpful to some people, just kind of breaking down the higher time frames, filling in the confirmations, understanding where we want to go, and then we can look at, okay, so we know where we want to go. It's like, how do we actually get there? I think that's important. Sometimes me, will enter a trade without really knowing where do we want to see price get to. We just see, right, okay, order block, break structure, inducement, get in. Where do we want to target? Is it the next higher high? Is there higher time frame targets? Is there something lower that price could potentially sink to? So yeah, it literally is just about telling a story and even like speaking it out to yourself, you know, like what I've done there when I'm marking it out. If you speak it out to yourself while you're doing it or write notes about it, it just helps you understand, you know, where you are. It's so easy to get lost. Like on this 5-minute, if I scroll out, it's like, oh, okay, we're actually bearish. Made a lower low, we've made a lower high. It's like, where the fuck are we, kind of thing. So something that I try and do now is just on the lower time frames, focus on the day you're on, the last couple of days. Don't get lost with, you know, understanding all this noise and shit that happens here. Just find some nice clean structure, understand where you are in the market, and that's what you need to sort of be looking at. So yeah, I hope that was helpful to some people. Again, a bit of a different kind of video, still just highlighting trades of the week. Obviously I'm still here active with my journal and kind of journal. This is what I mean, I was writing down the price action. Still active journaling, big advocate of this still, writing down everything from last week. But yeah, man, that's it. I'll leave that there. Thank you so much for listening. If you're, you know, if you're a growing trader like myself and something that you're still developing at, it should be everyone, to be honest, then feel free to, you know, like, subscribe, follow, message me on Instagram. And yeah, man, all good. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of the weekend, and I will catch you soon.